All right, good evening, good evening. We getting back rolling on some of the live videos here. Been on the go here recently, so things have been a little sporadic yet as far as that goes. But we're working on some chap tops right now. Well, some chap parts, I guess. This is actually a side piece that I'm in the middle of here. But we're working on a new pattern pack coming out with chap parts. So this is one of the side pieces that's going to be in there. This is actually the side piece that goes along with this top. So this top got tooled up the other day, or that hip panel. So then this will be the leg piece that's going on with that. And this is one of two patterns that's going to be in that pack. That pack is not available yet. It'll be, it's going to be released probably tomorrow evening, actually. That's kind of what we're looking for is at tomorrow for this pattern pack to be available. I'm getting this leg panel tooled up, and then I have a back belt pattern that's going to go in with it as well. So I'm gonna get that tooled up tomorrow, which it's the back belt for chaps. However, it's also the same size as like 1.5 inch wide belt. So really you could use it as a full belt pattern. It's a repeating pattern. So kind of a 2-in-1 option there. All right, good evening, good evening. See lots of people jumping on here. Appreciate you guys joining me this evening. We're gonna be probably a little shorter video than we've done in the past here, as I getting this side panel here finished up. We're just gonna go through and finish tooling this. I'm in the middle of my shading, and then we'll get to our detail tools and backgrounds. What I'm using here for a tool, this is my vertical line thumbprint from Barry King. Number 2 is the sizing on this one, but I really like that lines in there. It really just helps give it some extra texture in there in your burnishing. Create some flow as you're watching which direction those lines are going, and gives a little something for antique and whatnot to get down in and kind of pick up some of your finishes just a little bit more. When I'm running that, you'll notice when I get that where I want it, I have it really tipped here, but I'm kind of getting after it down at that end, and then I fade that on out. You can hear the difference in that between when I'm first hitting that down and getting that burnishing till when I have that tipped and I'm just fading off there, softening those edges on that. Okay, we're gonna switch over from that. I'm gonna grab, this is a little tool that I've ground down to make this little tiny lifter here. Lifter or stop. I like using it in there where I have a piece coming off a stump there and where I want to stop in there. Also in these little ridges. And just put just a little bit in there, kind of help bring a little life to those as well. We got in this pattern, we got a couple other spots where we have this kind of a stop point where something else is breaking out of that. So I'm gonna use that stop there and one more out on this stump right there. All right. Kind of with the same lifting idea in mind. I'm not using a lifter, but I'm using my round face checkered bevel. Is another Barry King tool. This is I don't know, a small one. I couldn't tell you the size number off the top of my head, but it's a smaller round bevel here. I'm going to use that on the insides of these curves, almost as a lifter and to come kind of crisp things up a little bit after doing my shading in there. Just helps kind of bring those lines back up and bring those back to life here. Anywhere where I have a turn back, I'm going to really get that in there, and that just helps add that definition to it. All right. Just a few spots there that I'm using that. All right, now I'm going to put that round bevel back, and I'm going to reach over here and grab this small mule's foot, and I'm going to come in back behind where I used that little stop at, and just very slightly give one kind of harder set in there, and then fade off a couple more right behind that. Just adds that little wrinkle there. Some people you'll see use a mule's foot down in the vine work, maybe a bigger one that cuts across that vine work. Personally, I don't use a whole lot of that. I really work to stagger and fade out those vines, so I don't want to go back across with that mule's foot and break it up. Occasionally I'll use that in places, but not a ton. Oh, oops, trying to check on comments here. I see Dan with Spearheaders, been a while since I got on one of these. Yeah, hey, me too. No worries. We've been gone for a few Mondays yet. Mama Bear's looking for the pattern pack. Yep, that'll be out soon. Larry, good evening, sir. Miss Connie, good to see you on here. No, we never give up on Monday nights. We just scheduling and a one-man operation can get a little hectic. But ready to start shooting. Russ, if I remember correctly, looking at your work shows I still have a long ways to go. Well, we all have a long ways to go, so don't let it get to you. All right, where are we at here? I'm going to jump over here and do some backgrounds. So I'm going to grab my bar grounder here. Again, we're matching up to this top that I've already tooled. So this is a size 30 from Barry King and the bar grounders. This particular one in my hand is a 7 seed, which that just is the number of little dots on there. So, okay, Russ, yep, I got it right, good. See, I have a hard time with that. People have these names on YouTube or YouTube channels or social media accounts where it goes by something other than the actual name, you know. It's either a business name or just something off, and then I get a little off, not sure who I'm talking to, but I try to remember every now and then if I can get them straight. I know I got Russ there and Spearheaders. I know that's Dan down in Roseburg. We'll be actually heading that way in December. It's looking like. I think we got it scheduled. It may not be official yet. Who knows? I could be getting this out before I should be, but I don't think anybody watching my leather videos is really going to care too much one way or the other on it. But December, I'll be down the first weekend in December down in Roseburg teaching a bull riding school. Again, I don't know if it's actually out there on the websites yet or not, but I'm probably safe to leak that information to you guys here. Mama Bears is Mary Jane Angelo. All right. Western Pennsylvania. Connie, what weight leather are you using for chap tops? This that I'm tooling on here is an 8.9, but I feel comfortable anywhere from a 5.6 up to an 8.9 on chap tops. Pretty decent. You know, some of that's going to be personal preference. Some of that is going to be availability. You know what you have for other stuff, but I think anywhere between a 5.6 and an 8.9, you're pretty well in the scope of things. As far as usability goes, you're not too thin, you're not too thick and heavy. That's all going to tool pretty darn good. Justin Harden, hello from North Carolina. Just had a guy this weekend at a rodeo ask me about making a pair of chaps. Good to learn a little bit about it from you. Awesome. Heck yeah. There's can be, you know, building a pair can be an intimidating project. You know, it's a big project, but once you break it down, it's really not too bad. You know, there's a whole lot more on the actual build size with fit and getting your measurements and that sort of thing. Great resource on that stuff too. On the construction side is going to be Julie Bogger Leather Design. They'll actually, once I release this pattern pack, so this, what I'm tooling on here is part of a chap tooling parts pattern pack that I'm putting together. And these parts and these patterns actually fit with the build patterns from Julie Bogger. So when I do release this pattern pack probably tomorrow, so we have this set, and then there's another set of patterns that goes with this pattern pack. That's a partial tool, gives you a spot to either do some geometrics, or like here's an example of this, either do some geometrics in here like this, or you can customize that with brands, initials, whatever in there. So a couple of these two patterns are going to go in that same pack. But anyways, when I release these, in the description I'll be sure to have a link to Julie's site as well, where you can get full, you know, the full body patterns as well that she puts out. Leather can be intimidating. Yeah, it can be intimidating for sure, but you'll be okay. Oh, how's the battery down here? Oh, we're good. I don't know why that's red. Huh. Okay. Now, if you know me, you know this is my favorite part. Get down to our decorative cuts on here. So, one thing I hear people in some of my patterns are these stumps. I use quite a bit, and that can be kind of a tricky spot. It's a big open space. What do I do with it? You know, you can see where I run that shading just kind of out there towards the end, and then fade that off. But I'm going to use this area here, and we're going to kind of accent that off with some decorative cuts. But looking at the actual flow of this, where's this baseline flow coming from, right? That's coming around here. So my decorative cuts, I want to kind of pull with that same flow to add to it, and not cut it up and take it away. I'm starting deep. I'm going to put one big line down here, fade it off. I'm going to stack a couple cuts around this outside edge. Again, faded down. Put a little something there. I don't have a good name for that. A little whoop-de-doo, a little something right there where it kind of jigs back. And then we'll stack another one there. throw a couple in that smaller one. So that's kind of one way, you know, pulling some of those cuts. Connie, what are these side pieces used for? So these side pieces are going to be, we got the hip panel, and then we got this this side one here. What's a good way to describe this? For one, this is going to wind up with rivets through here where my leg straps are going to attach at. Yeah, that'd be great. In fact, we got an old pair sitting right over here. So I'll just set these here for now. So I'm gonna finish these decorative cuts, and then I'll move the camera, Connie, and just show you on a pair of old chaps where these pieces are gonna be. So I did a little crosshatch thing kind of here underneath that where that folds over. We'll do that again on the bottom of this piece too. Okay, Connie, use full-length leg zippers. So that's going to be a different style of chap. So that style that you're talking about using there, Connie, is going to be called a shotgun chap. And yes, you're correct. A shotgun chap would only have this top getting utilized. So a rodeo chap is going to be, the style of chap is called a batwing chap. And that one, instead of having a full-length zipper, is going to have anywhere from 2 to 4 leg straps on it up around the thigh. And then the bottom of that chap is actually going to be left loose to where it can flap around, essentially. And that's where, like on your rodeo chaps, you're going to see that the action of the chap's going to kind of show the action of the leg, or be an extension of that, really. And so I'll show you where this side panel is going to come into play on those here in just a second. But you can see anywhere where I have these turnovers, I'm using this crosshatch. I don't always do that, but it's just something I'm going to use throughout this piece here. Just touches off the bottom side of that that's curling over there. Again, I can't stress enough that this is artwork, not science. I mean, there's no one right way to do any of this stuff. So when I'm showing you guys stuff, this is just, it's how I do it, and it's what's worked for me. You darn sure don't have to do any of this the way I do it, but it just shows you one option on it anyways. That's why with the pattern packs, I don't do a how-to or anything like that. You get the line art of the pattern, you know, your actual line art with the background shaded in, and then a picture or a scanned in image of my final tooling product, just to give you an idea on which side of the lines to bevel on, depending on where you're at in your tooling. You know, some of you might be able to look at that line art and, oh yeah, I know exactly what it is, and other people are still learning, have trouble seeing that, and like to have that reference picture. So that's why I put it in there. It's not necessarily that it has to be that way. LVX leather, is there a pattern for this somewhere? I'd like to tool along with this video later. There is a pattern for this, and it's going to be available tomorrow. This is pattern from my new pattern pack coming out, and we'll probably be live again tomorrow. Anyways, I'll probably put a finish on these or something, and I have the link in there so you can see that as well. But they will be available on the website tomorrow at some point. GM, greetings from Long Island, New York. Hello, hello, good to have you on here. Okay, so there's going to be that leg panel there. And so just to show you here, if you could see all the crap I got sitting around me right now, I'm luckily not trip over it. Try not to knock everything off on camera here, but this is, just to give you an idea here, this is an old pair of chaps I got sitting in the shop here, and this leg panel is what we were just tooling on, is a panel like that. So then when I flip that over, when I move this and I flip that over, and you can see that's where those leg straps are attached in. It's just going to add some strength in there. You know, when you're riveting those straps in, if you just rivet to the chap leather body, that can rip out, especially with the wear and tear that rodeo chaps are going to get. But this heavier veg tan, you rivet in your strap through here and that body. Now you have the strength and durability on that, to where you're not going to be ripping your straps out, ideally. Dan, I've bought a few Al Stolman books. Leather carving books are expensive, even used. Any resource suggestions? Or any resources you suggest? Man, yeah, leather carving books, like where it gives you the, like you're looking for more of a full how-to on the leather carving. Is that, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, Dan, not necessarily a pattern, but an actual, like a how-to leather carving book. Kind of confirm that for me real quick. But yeah, the only how-to leather carving books that I've seen are older books like that. Like you talk about the Al Stolman, Ken Griffin, stuff like that have been around a while, and yeah, they're almost like collector's items now, so it's harder to get some of them, and they're kind of proud of some of them for sure. But there you go. Ashley says Leather Life Classroom. That's a Leather Life Classroom's a heck of a resource for you. Yeah, the live classes there. I've honestly, you bring it up, and I've kind of toyed around with the idea. I've actually even started somewhere, if I find that notebook again, I've started writing a book on like a how-to tool book, but it's honestly, I mean, it's no different than the stuff I cover in videos either, but I think it'd be cool to do that. Just come out with a full book, an actual how-to book to have on hand. But I haven't done that yet, and it's probably not anytime soon. But Connie, my books are the best, and they all have these YouTube videos to go with them. Yeah, so as far as patterns go, the pattern books I have, try to do the videos that correspond with them. But I'll have to look on that, Dan, to see if I come up, if I have any super good idea for you on actual. Do it, you'll buy it. Okay, awesome. One sold, we'll do it. That's actually how I started doing pattern books from the get-go. Somebody I have like a couple people like, man, you got to sell your patterns, and I thought, man, there's no way. Like, nobody wants to buy my patterns. It just seemed weird to me. And then my wife, she's like, you really ought to do it. You really ought to do it. So it's like, well, okay. So we tried it, and it was hugely successful. And so we've been just growing on that ever since. So, yeah, that encouragement, Dan, that you think it's a good idea, heck, we may have to work a little harder on that. So before I jump off here, just to kind of give you guys an idea what's coming in this pattern pack that's coming up, be released tomorrow at some point. This is the two different top patterns. This one here, I know it's horrible because you're right on top of it. But this top piece, it's going to go along with the side panel that we were just tooling on. The partial tool with the geometric. So, and the pattern on that, it doesn't, I mean, there's not a pattern for the geometric. It just has your open window on the geometric spot. Allows you to put in brands, initials, that sort of thing, customize any orders there. But the other thing, I'm not really telling you this, but I'm telling you this, is if you look at parts on this pattern, that's kind of a cool little corner piece too. Same thing here, throwing on like a portfolio, something like that. Just throwing that out there. Again, I know this is a chap pattern, whatever, but if you actually isolate and look at this, it's kind of some pattern parts that you can use for other things. So just keep that in mind too. Again, that's just a side user note, not a, I mean, I have other corner patterns for you for sure, but just saying there, if I was getting this pattern pack and I was looking at that, like, hey, cool, boy, what else could I use that for? So anyhow, those are in there, as well as the back belt option, 2 options. One back belt option for that center back belt behind there is their partial tool option, which is going to be this piece here that's tying in with these patterns here. So you could go your geometrics too. Yep, Connie, here it is, the back belt right here. So that'd be your partial tool that goes with that one. And then this one here is going to be to go along with the full tool option. And I'm gonna get these tooled up tomorrow before this pattern releases. But then if your belt needs to extend out, there's also going to be the pattern for the extension here. So if I wanted to make this longer, I would simply place that over. Same thing. Oops. And you could extend that out as you go, depending on what your measurement needs are. So anyhow, and the measurement needs, when you talk about that, hey, Julie Bogger Leather Design, gonna get you with all the construction stuff there. But anyhow, appreciate you guys being on here. I am looking at getting some new swag coming up here pretty soon too. So I know in some of the business builders, we were giving away some t-shirts. So as soon as I get some more different swag in, I think we may look into doing a few more giveaway videos as well. But thank you guys for being on here, and look forward to seeing you soon. We're gonna try to ramp up and do some more live videos, both here on YouTube as well as on Facebook at 23plus23plus, and Instagram 23plus.leatherwork, so 23plus.leatherwork. So all those spots, we're going to ramp up the videos in all of them here in the coming months. So stay tuned with us there. Let me know if you have specific questions or anything that I can do a video on to answer to help you guys along your way. So we will see you next time.